Hello, Good Shepherd Sunday School friends. I'm here with Carl to share another song for the second week in Advent. So last week's theme was hope, and this week we're going to look at peace. So the song that I wanted to share was a song called When He Came, and you might be familiar with it from our Christmas service in the past. But this verse says, He brought peace to the world when He came. To the many and the few, and even me and you, He brought peace to the world when He came. All right, here we go.
He brought peace to the world when He came. He brought peace to the world when He came. To the many and the few, and even me and you, He brought peace to the world when He came.
Hey, Ruby, what you got there?
It's my new newsletter. Here, have one.
The Bi-Weekly Prophet, telling hard truths no matter how truthful. Ooh, catchy title.
Wait, is this about people in our congregation? Ms. Miller's new winter coat makes her look like a parakeet. Pastor Pete is so bad with computers, he should be called Pastor Delete. Brandon and Eve singing in the choir is so off-pitch they should stop singing.
I couldn't think of anything clever for that last one, but it is all true. I started the Bi-Weekly Prophet to deliver the message of truth, and that's just what I'll do.
These are all so mean. Ruby can't hand these out.
Of course, if someone told Ruby that, she might get mad and then say mean things about that person in her mean newsletter.
Oh, yeah, that could get ugly.
Rock, paper, scissors to decide who talks to her about it?
Okay.
Hooray, I win! Good luck talking to Ruby! I believe in you!
Wait, how do we know you won?
Bi-Weekly Prophet! Get your Bi-Weekly Prophet! Find out whose shoes are terrible and who chews way too loudly!
Hey, Ruby, I was wondering if I could talk to you about your newsletter.
What about it?
Well, let me think, it's the title.
Funny story. It's called Bi-Weekly because I only have time to work on it once every 2 weeks.
I actually meant prophet. Good choice, because prophets are messengers of God. So good title. I'll just be going.
It's so mean. So very, very mean. But I can't look away.
Bi-Weekly Prophet! Get your Bi-Weekly Prophet! Bi-Weekly Prophet!
You know another thing about prophets, Ruby? They deliver messages of truth. God's truth.
Yep, they always tell it like it is.
Even if the person they have to tell the truth to is powerful or might get angry or has a newsletter.
You know, prophets got chased off into the wilderness for delivering messages like that. Wouldn't it be terrible if, for example, you had to live in the woods behind the church, Gabe?
I have done that before, and I did not enjoy it. But still, a true prophet would always deliver the message, so here goes. Ruby, your newsletter is mean, it's really going to hurt people, it won't help anyone, and I don't think you're using the term bi-weekly correctly.
You really think that, Gabe?
It's the truth, so yell or do whatever you have to, but I said it.
Maybe you're right. I'll stop the newsletter. But you are wrong about one thing.
I am?
Yes! Bi-weekly can either mean every 2 weeks or twice a week. Both uses are correct. I looked it up before I made the newsletter, Gabe, obviously.
Phew.
This story is called Wombat Divine by Mem Fox. Now, I don't know too much about wombats, but I do know that as animals, they live in Australia. So here's Wombat. It says, a heartwarming Christmas story from down under. There he is. It was the week before Christmas. Wombat loved Christmas. He loved the carols and the candles, the presents and the pudding, but most of all, he loved the nativity play. For as long as he could remember, Wombat had wanted to be in the nativity. Now, at last, he was old enough to take part. So, with his heart full of hope and his head full of dreams, he hurried along to the auditions. His friends were already there. Emu was bossing and fussing as usual. Now let's get started, she said. Who'd like to be the Archangel Gabriel? I would, said Wombat. But he was too heavy to be the Archangel Gabriel. Do you see what they're doing? They got a pulley up here. He's got his wings on, but could they lift him? Platypus tried. The koalas tried. His friends all tried, but nope. He wasn't right for the Archangel. Bilby was chosen instead. Bilby patted Wombat on the back. Never mind, Wombat. Don't lose heart. Why not try for a different part? What a good idea, said Emu. Now, who'd like to be Mary? I would, said Wombat. Oops. But he was too big to be Mary. Numbat was chosen instead. Numbat stroked Wombat's nose. There, don't, Wombat, don't lose heart. Why not try for a different part? Right, said Emu. Now, who'd like to be one of the three kings? I would, said Wombat. But he was too short to be a king. Looks like he's tripping over his robe. Kangaroos are watching. And the kangaroos were chosen instead. The kangaroos put their arms around Wombat. Cheer up, Wombat. Don't lose heart. Why not try for a different part? Wombat tried everything. He wanted to be Joseph, but he was too sleepy. He wanted to be the innkeeper, but he was too clumsy. He wanted to be one of the shepherds, but he was too short-sighted. Whoops. And then there were no parts left. Wombat hung his head and hoped he wouldn't cry. Suddenly, Bilby leapt into the air. I know, he shouted. You could be the baby Jesus. Could I? Asked Wombat. Could I really? Of course you could, Wombat, said Emu. Fancy my forgetting such an important part. A nativity without the baby Jesus is no nativity at all. Wombat was dizzy with pride. Looks pretty happy too. Christmas Eve arrived at last. Everyone was nervous, except Wombat. He lay quiet and still throughout the whole performance. He even fell asleep, just as a real baby would. Everyone's gathered around the manger. On Christmas Day, when everyone was opening presents and eating pudding, they all agreed that it had been the best nativity ever. You were divine, Wombat, said Emu. And Wombat beamed. So that's the story of Wombat Divine. And I was thinking now that we could practice our Christmas song, the one that spells out the letters in Christmas, Christmas. So if you're beginning to catch on a little bit from last week, let's try it again and you can join in too.
C is for the Christ child, born upon this day. H for herald angels in the night. R means a redeemer. I means Israel. S is for the star that shone so bright.
Just wait, Carl, I need to turn the page.
T is for the wise men, they who traveled far. M is for the manger where he lay. A is for all he stands for. S means shepherds came, and that's why there's a Christmas Day.
Wow, I'm so glad Carl helped me sing that one. Good job, buddy. I hope you've had a chance to hear a little bit about what we're going to be doing for our virtual pageant. Just doing some recording, just sending a short video clip into the Sunday school team of you and your family doing something kind of Christmassy. Could be sledding, or maybe lighting the Advent wreath, or decorating the Christmas tree. It's all going to be part of our virtual Christmas pageant together. So I hope you have a good week celebrating the second week of Advent and our theme of peace.